Boom! 1 minute to go. I'm early. Welcome to the Katie's Arms with me, Katie Hopkins. Can I just say that this hasn't been my effort so far this evening. This is my first glass of wine. Just before we get the usual people saying, wow, look how drunk she is. This will be the first wine that passes my lips. This is just my bottle on the go. Anyway, welcome. Hello everybody. Welcome to Katie's Arms. It's your pub online. Everybody is welcome. A few things you should know is that we aren't here to agree, that you can think whatever you want, and essentially it's a half-hour escape. So if you imagine going into an escape room, or if you imagine going into a pub like you used to go into in the old days, where you could go in, drink, smoke, do whatever you want, pretty much pass out under a table and lie there till the next morning. It's that kind of pub. So cheers to everybody. Cheers to all my regulars. Cheers to all of you joining for the first time, and we're always growing in number. And cheers to everybody who's sat with their influencer. Get ready. That's what they all do, isn't it? Cheers to everybody with your Katie's Arms wine glasses out there. I hope you have survived this week, because let me tell you, it's been quite the week, hasn't it? It's been a lot. Cheers. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It certainly is. You can join in without drinking if you want to. If it's early in the morning, no one can see you. And it is a regular thing. If you are new here, I'll just quickly explain. So here at the pub, I say exactly what I think. I have no filter. I don't hold back on anything. These are my opinions and I think them, so you can like them or not. I don't really care. If you don't like them, you can shove it up your ass. Or, of course, you could choose to do something else with your time. And then the second thing is, because people are so conditioned to hearing people who need to hold on to stuff, they're not used to this. So it will feel kind of weird to you because you're not really seeing anybody be themselves anymore, anywhere. Because if you want to hold on to a job or contracts or an agent or sponsorship or funding, you can't speak like I speak. So that's the preface, really. Michael Jackson looking outfit. I know, isn't it? I don't know what it is. 80s, is it? But I thought I should wear my medals because I thought it would help with the pub vibe. We have some difficult stuff to talk about tonight at the pub. And so I need to make an agreement with you all. When I'm talking about the difficult stuff later, right, I need locals. I need you to just don't be nice, right? So when I talk about, I'll let you know that we're getting to the difficult bit. And when we get to the difficult bit, could you please just write some, like, piss off horse face, or you haggard old bag. Just write some stuff. Someone this week said, do you have any idea how old you look? So could you just write some of that when I'm doing the difficult thing? Don't do what you all do, which is, is it cutting out? I'm so sorry. Don't do what you all do, which is be really, really nice. Don't do that. Okay, so when I'm doing the hard stuff, just be really, really mean. And then hopefully I'll be able to get through this. Shit me, guys, it is mad out there, isn't it? And I think one of the things that a lot of people have now is a sort of fatigue, right? Because it's like if you're a hostage, you get fatigued because you're always on the edge of, am I going to be killed today? Am I going to be let go today? Am I going to be moved today? Who's going to look after me today? Am I going to get hit today? So you get really exhausted. It's like if you're on the road all the time, you get exhausted just because you're on guard all the time. I reckon that's what's happening to the British population as a whole. I reckon we're getting a sort of fatigue, almost like a hostage fatigue, because we're being held hostage by fucking maniacs. Maniacs in control, maniacs who are putting in rules, maniacs who are making up rules, maniacs who are surrounding us, maniacs who are policing the ruls, maniacs who think that the maniacs are running this place are doing a good job. Like, when you're perpetually surrounded by madness, I think it's fatiguing, right? I think it's what kind of gets you to the point you don't know why you're tired, or if you're tired, or why you're feeling a bit off. But I think it's that. I think it's a fatigue with the insanity, right? Let's do some examples. Did you all see the Australian case, Tickle versus Giggle? Which of course is delightful for the mainstream news because that headline writes itself, right? Like if you wanted a newsworthy court case, what else would you call it but Tickle versus Giggle? But essentially, to surmise, Giggle is an app for girls to go, I'm guessing women, I don't know, whoever, what age, doesn't matter, for women to go on and have a laugh. I'm imagining the idea of the app is that kind of like this, right? That you're at a pub and you're chatting and you're oversharing and you're sharing stuff you probably shouldn't about blokes, about your life, about whatever you're doing. I can see the use of a Giggle app. I would use it. This would be, I would suggest, a good pub night to have on a Giggle app. So it's for women because it's talking about private women things. And it's a sort of thing where it's women together having a laugh, saying stuff they otherwise wouldn't. And of course, along comes a guy, transgender, called now Miss Tickle. And Miss Tickle wants to join the app, joins for a bit and then is found out to be a biological male. And so there's a thing about it, and the biological male then takes this to court because he, she, her, or shab, they are being discriminated against. She is being discriminated against. Tickle's being discriminated against because she can't join the biological female space. And perhaps, like, if you're the owner of Giggle, God bless the lady, you think to yourself, oh yes, okay, we'll go to court because I know that I'm not mad. I know that biological female is a thing and sex is a thing. So, okay, we'll go to court and I'll invest all my money in going to court for this because this is my baby, right? And that's exactly the thinking I had back in the day in the High Court. I know what I'm saying can't be wrong, so I'm happy to lose everything, to bet everything because this matters. So that's the attitude you go with. Like, literally, I will lose everything if this doesn't go my way, but it must because this is the only sensible outcome. And she loses because the judge, the utter cock-wombling, twat-spangling, micro-penised, puny excuse for a man, found that sex is changeable. It is now law in Australia that biological sex is a changeable phenomenon. So it's not like, oh, yes, some people can be trans. Okay, fine. And it's not like gender is a flexible concept. Okay, fine. I mean, fuckity, whatever. I don't believe that shit, but whatever, that's fine. You know, I don't believe that. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm happy for you. And I say this on my shows, right? You know, you want to believe you're a bloody lamp? I will shove a light bulb up your ass and turn you on. But if you cut the legs off a cat, it doesn't make it a slug, does it? So it's not even about the whole flexible, gender's a flexible concept and trans is more than a thing. And it's not even that. It's now biological sex is changeable. So this poor lady not only will have lost everything, not only does she have to pay the cost of Miss Tickle, fuck off, she also has to pay £10,000 in damages. Damaging to what? What is it about these men that makes them need to be in spaces that are women's? What is it about? What is that? What is that? That would be like me needing to be, you know, in a friggin', I don't know, primary school swimming pool or something. It's just bloody odd. It's Hugh Edwards level of odd. It's odd behaviour. And frankly, what you have to do, even the lovely lady in Australia, if you're listening, I'm banned from your country, so fuck. But like, you're still not wrong. Just because some decrepit, devoid of a penis wank-stained judge says Miss Tickle, whatever, it's not right. Same with me. You can't be seriously harmed just because you perceived you were seriously harmed. The law is an arse. Okay. Hello. Should we have a little drink? And then I've just got to go on to another trans rant. And believe me, I've got nothing against trans dudes. Be trans. Go be trans. Do all your transing. You trans yourself up the yin-yang. Go on. Be trans. Just don't try and sit on my face. Do you know what I mean? Another one, Fabrizio. You're not allowed to dead name people, so mustn't dead name Fabrizio. Fabrizio is now a Valentino because she wants to run in the Paris Olympics as a female. So he, biological male, she is now going to run in the Olympics as a biological male, but running as a female called Valentino. Fabrizio. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Valentino, and I'm going to shove my knob somewhere up inside somewhere, spanks it to the underside of my anal passage so that I can compete against regular women. I'm just saying, fuck me. I am disabled, right? So, I have a right to comment on shit that is to do with disability. You're disabled? Seriously, you're in a blind event. Do you not think these ladies have gone up against it enough? Seriously. They were born, maybe they went blind, maybe they're blind already. They can't see for shit and they're trying to do a running race. I can't make it downstairs sometimes because I'm a bit spaz on the left side. How they're doing a running race? I love them. I love them. And they can run faster than any of us lazy bastards. So you're doing a running race, you're disabled and you're blind, and somehow you've made it to Paris and not been molested or bloody pickpocketed, which must be hard when you're blind as well, because you can't see the little fuckers coming. And then you've got some biological male called Fabrizio friggin' running because he lost some sight at some point. So now he's become Valentino. Not only do you have to overcome your disability, you have to overcome the fact that you're running against someone with a dick. Imagine if you were flailing about. I'm not saying disabled people flail about, but as an epileptic, I properly used to flail about. Imagine if you're running and you have a bit of a flail and your hand actually accidentally reaches out into lane 3 and touches a whole cock. You like that? What the fuck is a cock do? Am I in a race? What am I doing? Am I at the Olympics? I thought I was at a women's event. I wish I would do Candace Owens' podcast. I have, actually. You'll find an episode there. Although, would that still be available now that the whole Shapiro thing happened? I don't know. I was actually going to message her husband and asked if Candace would like a drink. Because I think, actually, she just needs to chill the fuck out. God love her. I've known her since before she was Candace. So I was speaking at an event and she was at the very back of the room as a little starty-outy person. So I think she just needs to... But, each to their own. Should we do another? Fucking, we live in a mental place. Thanks to everybody for following Batshit Bonkers Britain, by the way. Let's try this one. Wales. How do you get a glass? Oh, we sold them out. I'm so sorry. And Lovely Mark's not around at the moment. He hasn't left me, don't worry. But we are... So the tour in 2025 will be mega and we will have things. And I want to get earrings. Okay, let's do one more funny and then I'm going to do the hard thing. Oh, it's making me all sweaty. Because I can already feel... I can already feel it. You know when you haven't properly whoosed something? And you know how I always tell people you've got to let things out and you've got to work through things. I haven't worked through this yet. So I know that I'm setting myself up for a fall. I can already feel it. Okay, hold on. Okay, one more thing and then we're going to do the hard thing. And this is where you guys promise to just, when we go into hard thing, you guys are just going to be mean. I don't care if you're a super supporter. I don't care if you're like super Christian. I don't care. Just be mean because we're going to get through this together. Okay, funny thing. Wales, 20 miles an hour, right? And you know, perhaps you know, that the Transport Secretary Labour, she has freaking awful hair, right? I mean, I know my hair's like skinny, but her hair is dyed red. It's like she wants to pretend to be Angela Rayner. Who in God's name aspires to look like Angela Rayner with her fake hair? That stuff looks like it's got an entire family of rodents living in it. And when Keir Starmer sat on that bench with those two women, the helmet head, Rachel Reeves, and Angela Rayner, oh my God, it's like a pantomime version of, you know, Cinder friggin' Rella, where the ugly sisters are like, who can we fuck over next? Let's take money off the pensioners for their fuel. I digress. The Transport Secretary wants to bring in more 20 mile an hour zones. And if councils want to bring in 20 mile an hour zones, even though we all know that everyone hates them, the Labour Party will back councils to bring in more of these 20 mile an hour zones. And I don't know if you've ever tried to, good evening, hello everybody, thank you for being here. Helmet head, yeah, Rachel Reeves, bob head. My hair is cemented onto my face. Means I can look really serious at all times. Jesus! Ugly, ugly women, and I don't mean that in a visual way, although also that, but just ugly inside. Back to Transport Secretary. 20 mile an hour. I don't know if you've tried to drive a car. I just got waylaid by a comment. Don't be rude. Drive a car at 20 miles an hour. It is virtually impossible. I try with my Panda, right? And you're like, first gear, no, second gear, third gear too fast. You're trying to, right? You're trying to almost go backwards down the road because it's so slow. Anyway, Wales, 20 miles an hour speed limits, which they're somewhat reversing, but it's taking forever. So the cycle race, this kind of famous Tour de Wales, goes through Wales, right? 3 of the 5 zones, there's 5 zones, 3 of them have 20 mile an hour speed limits in them, right? So it means that the cyclists will go through faster than 20 miles an hour, which means their support vehicles won't be able to keep up with the cyclist, because if they keep up with the cyclist, they'll be doing over the speed limit and they'll get a speeding fine. So they've had to change the route for the Tour de Wales because of the 20 mile an hour zones, which were supposed to be there to please the eco fruitcakes and the climate change. Joey Deacon. This whole Joey Deacon thing has got to stop. Anyway, these are just a couple of examples, aren't they? You know, I could go for an hour, 2, on examples this week of utter madness. Our energy prices of the whole summer, when you don't need your heating on, they put the price down. The minute it's fucking freezing and we're about to go into properly Baltic, they shove the price up by 10%. And my question is, where are elderly people supposed to get an extra 150 quid or 1,500 or 2,000 or whatever their extra bill is, right? £300. Where are they supposed to rustle that? What would you like them to do, you bastards? Rachel Reeves, what would you like them to do? Would you like them to what? Auction off a kidney, maybe? I mean, what use is a fucking 85-year-old kidney? It's probably knackered. It's had that much piss go through it over a whole lifetime. They can't sell one of them. What do you want them to sell? Their eyeballs, well, the half of them can't fucking see because they're 95. Where are they supposed to find the money? Well, under a mattress, really? That's what really bugs me, is it's going to cost them more. Okay, where are they supposed to get it? What, they're going to go out and work, are they? Can't see, can't hear properly. Some of them can barely move. They're buggered, they're knackered, they've paid in all their bastard lives, and now you want them to what rustle up, just go out and stand on a street corner? You know, old bloody Mavis auctioning off her front bits in order to pay her energy bill. That's what pisses me off. Oh, poo, I'm late. That's okay. They won't be happy till some poor person freezes to death, and they do. They decide not to put their heating on because they're conscientious. They sit there, sorry, I've got a hair on my lip. I hope it didn't fall out of my moustache. Don't know what it is. They won't put it on because they don't want to run into debt. And so they sit and then they literally freeze to death. I mean, God, that breaks my heart. If you're listening and you're really old If you're listening and you're really old, no. If you're listening and you're really old, that hair's still there. Can I just say, put your bloody heating on, darlings. Put it on. If you get debt or whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just put the bastard thing on. And if someone comes to your door knocking and they've got a badge from some heating company, don't open your door. Just do what you have to do to survive this, because the pricing is bullshit. The stakeholders and the shareholders are rolling in it. Look after yourself and throw away your bills. Because at 85 or 95, darlings, you've earned a warm winter. Fuck 'em. Complying is overrated. And that comes from me, a rabid right-winger who used to be like, rules, do the right thing, rah. Don't do the right thing. Put your heating on, my darlings, and stay alive. Because we need old people, because they understand the bullshit. But never let someone in your house. And that applies to everybody out there, right? If someone knocks at your door, there is no, unless you sort of know them, like, I mean, even then, actually, you could tell them to fuck off, because most people are just wankers. But if someone knocks at your door, the first action, your first reaction should be, do I know who that is? Am I letting them in? Because unless you can answer A, do I know who it is? You shouldn't be letting them in. You don't have to let police in. You don't have to let anybody with a badge in. You don't have to let anyone that says, I need to come in and speak to you for a moment. This won't take long. They don't come in your home. Don't let them, I don't care who they say they are or what they show you or how many of them there are. If there are 4, for example, I'm just casually mentioning, not saying this would happen to me, but if there are 4 members of West Midlands Police there with cameras and badges, you don't have to let them in. Don't let them in. Okay, good. You like Jeremy Kyle? Fine, I don't care. I don't care what you think I'm like. I know who I am. So I respect that you'll have a view on me because I put myself out there. But I care what people think because I don't want to let anyone down. But if you have a view that I'm a drunk or I'm like this or I'm da-da-da, or do I know a guy or how is Farage or any of that shit, I don't really care because I know who I am. And that's what I'm doing right now. So your opinion of me, you could be making the mistake of thinking I value your view of me. And for many people I do. My audiences, of course, I care beyond words what they think. But some random, what they think of me, I know who I am. And the people who know me know who I am. So that's why people sometimes when they write a comment under my post and they make a sort of judgment, and it's a strange thing. They always want to say, oh, I wonder if you've ever thought what I would think of you. Okay, here we go. We're going to do it. People say my hair colour is good. Thank you. It was dyed in New York. So maybe the New York guys know what they're doing. I don't know. Here we go. This is where Arsenal to win the league. Good. More of that, please. Go with mean stuff now. Come on. I don't want to. Don't be kind. Don't be nice. Don't be sweet. This is so fatally flawed. Okay. I'm going to do a big tour in 2025. As big as this tour, Silly Cow. A bit bigger, actually. And every single one of these venues is having us back because we had a brilliant time and we sold out. And some of them we're doing twice because I had such a brilliant time. Belfast, we're going to go twice because I love Belfast so much. But because of all that's gone on and because everybody is in a difficult place and because I'm finding I can't make it around a supermarket at the moment because people are so needing something to lift them up, I've decided I'd do a little mini tour. I think it was like 8 or 9 venues. It's still happening because I want to lift people up. I felt the calling to lift people in some way. So I said, right, we've got these 2 weeks. Let's get out there and just try and get people together. It doesn't matter how many come. Doesn't matter if we fill places or not. Doesn't matter. We just call people together because we need it. And it's been going great, So we had King's Lynn as a venue, and it was a church, St Nicholas Church it is, and it's run by the Churches Conservation Trust, and they try and help fill churches so that they can stay alive, so that they can stay busy, so that they can have fun, so we don't lose more churches to other things. I think you know where I'm headed with that. Regardless, they offered a venue through a promoter. And I was like, are you sure? King's Lynn, St Nicholas Church, are you sure? I don't want to mess people around. And they were like, no, we're sure. And so I said to the lovely promoter guy, who's not linked to CCT, could you go back to them, to the boss guy, and say, are you certain Katie Hopkins can perform her comedy tour at the church? And we have that in writing, absolutely, no problem. So we cracked on, 10 days, sold the whole thing, 500 tickets. So about a week ago, I found out they were pulling the venue. So the Churches Conservation Trust pulled the venue. And for a week or however many days it's been a lot, I've been trying. Oof. I've been trying. So I offered to go and meet the guy that went back on his decision. I offered to perform for the trustees or shareholders or whoever the powerful people were. I offered to get other venues that have seen what I do, but this will be a different show, but to call to say, look, we were nervous about Katie, but actually I tried everything and nothing would work. So then I tried a legal letter, and I don't like to do that because I don't believe in legal. I don't believe the law's the law. In fact, I've learned it's not. So I spent money because I know how many people will have spent money on transport, on hotels, and I cannot let people down. And the response to the legal letter basically just laid out, we double checked, you said yes, we sold out, we've tried everything to persuade you to hold, and now we're going to be messing people around and they'll have spent money. And I hate the guilt of that, you can see. And the legal letter I got back, which it says clearly on it, I'm not allowed to share, I'm not allowed to publicise, I'm not allowed to, I'm looking for the bit where it says not for publication, so I could show it to you. Yeah, not for publication. The letter we got back is one of the harshest things I've read, and believe me, I've read a lot of things. But in summary, it sort of says, and I will publish this at a certain point. In summary, it says, the church has deeper pockets than you know. Basically, we have unlimited funds to fight you. The next bit gets more nasty. And it essentially, the summation that I've checked with the barrister, the summation is, the law is not with you. The establishment is not with you. The law's not on your side. Look at all the people who've been locked up recently. That's what it points to. And then this is the bit that's done this to me from the letter. So I said, look, even if you are going to cancel, could you make some payment so that I can refund people? Everybody's tickets, of course, will be refunded, and the booking fees and everything. So, the whole thing's just a loss, and that's fine. You know what, money and me, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm unburdened every day. But I wanted to make a little fun. So if you'd booked a hotel or you'd booked a train, I would be able to, refund that. And I listed out, so, sales damage, future sales damage, customer costs, customer travel costs. And they came back with, for the avoidance of doubt, these purported losses are vague, unsubstantiated, and embarrassing. And that's the bit that's really got me, is that even when I said, all right, I don't mind, or I do mind, but I don't mind, you've cancelled me, could we refund people's travel and time and hotel and things? And to be told that is vague. It's 500 tickets, but anyway, vague, unsubstantiated, and embarrassing. And I have to say, you know, I know the law's not the law. I know there's no such thing as democracy, right? I know to question everything. But there is still this sort of small part in your soul, having spent so much time in America, that hopes about a church. You know, I know Archbishop of Canterbury will be such a disappointment. I see the church really, you know, throwing itself away. But I know people out there who have faith. And I say that your path's already set. You know, I have belief that my path is set. And now I have to believe that the church, in particular represented by here, has nothing to do with my kind of faith, that your path is set. Because I cannot think of another basis where a man would write a letter that states so clearly the church can fund anything, the law will punish you, and that my efforts to help repay ordinary people is embarrassing. So I hadn't planned to do this. I'd planned to just say, if you were coming to King's Lynn, would you be kind enough to just check your email? The guy who was the organiser, promoter, has been sending out an email that I wrote to you. He's the one that has the money and will be refunding it to you with the booking fee, because he doesn't want to take your money in any way, because he knows what's gone on. And any problems, of course, I'm here and we'll make sure everybody gets their money back. But I think, I feel a bit better now. I've sort of been dreading, putting the statement out, and been dreading trying to do Katie's Arms in my normal manner, because I know this is a truth I have to share. And I have now. And I'm not allowed to share it. And there actually is a threat in this letter as well from the Church's Conservation Trust, that if I speak about this, as I am doing here, although I'm doing it in vague terms, obviously I'm not quoting word for word, that they reserve the rights to go against me if I speak about this and damage the reputation of the Church's Conservation Trust by speaking about the cancellation. But let me just say, by way of wrapping up, because we're over time, let me say that I know this has been a lot, and it's been a lot, but and I know the pub is usually a place of jollies, but I will say this, is every single time this happens, a world of kindness fills the space. Like, you can feel like this, right? You feel like the floor go from under you. When I got the email that said, we're pulling this, you just feel the floor go, and you have to kind of slump in the hole for a bit, like a beaten thing. You know, you have to like lie in the pit just going, ow. But then, and it's happening right now, because of course I've now been able to communicate, because one of my really big things was trying to get ahead of the CCT, because they were threatening to just let people know without me being the first one to let people know. What happens is that hole that you fell in, that was like, fills with all kind things. Look, I'm a twat spangle. Oh no, they're a twat spangle. I thought you were doing your thing of being kind to me, of being mean to me rather. Yes, the hole that they put you in fills with all this loveliness, which is overwhelming and sets me off. You know, people trying to fix it, people trying to solve the problem, people sending emails to the CCT just to highlight that, you know, in a couple of weeks after I should have been there, they're hosting drag, It's a Sin gore fest, or whatever it's called. You know, so it's just the sheer, also the hypocrisy of that. I've got nothing against that event, but why do they have to take hours? So that has just been a lot, you know. And the honesty of what I'm trying to do is, I'm not just going out there doing stand-up for the love of it. I'm doing it because I think it's important. I think it's needed. I know what it's like in those rooms, and it's amazing. I also accept that I'll be punished for doing what I'm trying to do, and I accept that. It doesn't mean I don't feel hurt and upset, because I'm not a monster. But I will not be beaten. we will not be beaten. And I just wanted to say thank you. You know, I can't say it too much because it will set me off again. But thank you for being so nice and kind. And for the people that never wanted to come in the first place, you're the ones that really set me off. People that never wanted to come and hear me are still saying you should be allowed to do your thing. So that's really appreciated. And so as ever, if you would be so kind to just make sure you've dropped your email at katiesarms.com. You just pop your email there and it means we can keep just a list of us all in one place. You always have my reassurance that would never be sold, that would never bombard you with anything. I'm just trying to scoop my chicks under my feathers. Okay, thank you for letting me be clear and explain that clearly. Thanks for being part of everything I do with Batshit Bonkers Britain. And hopefully I'll get to see very many of you on this short tour that I'm still going to be doing in October. And if you are able to get to any of the venues that still have tickets, they're up there on katiesarms.com. So thanks very much to everybody. You're all legends, and cheers from the Katie's Arms.